It makes for a bigger story. It makes everything more dramatic. Oh, his nose is cut. Oh, there's blood everywhere.
I think we've all gone back and watched the first fight again and how good it was. We've joked sometimes about the slow start, like the Molina fight, Nick Webb. And even before this one, we had a little joke and you went, nah, this one I won't start slow. But that first round I thought was probably Frazer's best one, more or less. Is it a psychological thing for you to maybe just don't warm up enough, or do you need to get whacked to get into it?
Yeah. It's not that I necessarily need to get whacked. I do probably need to start a little bit faster, but I'm also processing. I'm also figuring out my opponent. I'm not trying to rush in and go crazy and start letting off all my punches. And obviously we're working on stuff and setting stuff up, and it takes time to set up the right punch. So I'm judging range, distance, power, jab speed, where they like to jab from, what stance they like to jab from, what stance I give them, and then what they react off that. There's a lot to assess, which I'm paying attention to, which I can then use later down the line. So a lot of people use it as a slow start. And yeah, okay, there's a level of validity to that, but there's a method behind the madness.
Some very complicated stuff for the white-collar bloke from the pub, isn't it?
Yeah, I've read a few books, I've saw a few, documentaries and stuff, so I've done my homework in the few years I've been in the game and tried to up my levels, up my IQ.
We're just talking there about the good level of opponents that you had, like the guys like Nathan Gorman, who was, Team GB up in Sheffield. Like, Frazer was 8 years on Team GB, hundreds and hundreds of rounds with AJ and Joe Joyce. When you look at where you've come from and what you did in that fight, that must give you an incredible sense of pride and achievement from where you've come from. Yeah,
of course. From my perspective, I beat an Olympic bronze medalist. So, yeah, from little old white collar Fab from the pub, yeah, it's actually not bad. It's not bad going. It's not bad work for me. But unfortunately, judges didn't see it that way. So there's still more to finish on the job to really close the chapter and close it off. But there's a lot to be proud of, still a lot to be very happy with about that fight and just my career as a whole, really. The stages I've been on, the cards I've been on and things like that. So there's a lot there to really look at and go, oh yeah, you're not doing too bad. But I think we've had this discussion before that I try not to sit in that little fantasy land of, oh, I'm so great for too long. Otherwise you can get lost there.
We've also had the discussion about how your fights now result in me having to find new words for nose and blood, hooter, claret, and you've explained it now. It's not broken. It's just you're saying it just looks a lot worse than it is. Thankfully, where it is, it's leaking down. It's not getting in your eyes, but it makes for great pictures for us.
That's half the thing, isn't it? Like it makes for a bigger story. It makes everything more dramatic. Oh, his nose is cut. Oh, there's blood everywhere. And meanwhile, it's just a bit of blood mixed with some sweat and some water. The team's tipped on my head. Like, I've never seen it as a big deal, especially never where it's been located as well. Again, like you say, off my nose, just dripping down is not the biggest of issues for me. I know it makes it look worse when you look at the canvas afterwards and it's everywhere and all of that, but it's not. It never obstructed me. It never got in the way. My nose was never broken or never has been broken. Sorry. So it's not an issue for me. It's just if anything, I'm doing you lot a favour, and it's a good harping point for you lot to bang on about, and like you say, get some good pictures from.
Do you say anything to the ref before the fight just to kind of say, don't panic? Like, because you get sometimes a nervy ref who starts bringing in a doctor who then might be like, oh, this looks bad. Do you have to say anything to say, don't worry about it?
I never have done, no. But yeah, maybe it's something, a word in the rear beforehand to say, look, it's gone before, it's probably going to go, don't worry about it, it's not a big deal. So, yeah, I might say that to the ref beforehand.
The gym that you're in at the moment, in terms of heavyweight talent, Moses, 19, Anthony Joshua, 35, and a two-time heavyweight world champion. There's probably not a better place in England to be for a heavyweight. But would that rule out, in the year you need to fill, ever taking on a Moses or an AJ? Do you think in that gym, you've almost, there's too many of you guys in there? Do you think you? Yeah,
but I think do you know what it is? I think we're in three completely separate places. I think Moses is building towards. I'm on the edge of. And AJ's on the way out, and I don't mean that in on the way out.
Son exclusive.
I said that wrong.
No,
I said that so wrong.
don't worry, mate.
There's going to be clickbait.
I know it is.
I mean, but what I mean is, AJ's at the back end of his career. He's got a few left. He's not going to be looking to fight me, to be honest.
Yeah.
He'll be looking for some. If I was him, he'd be looking for some big money fights, and be looking to cash out and tip his cap to box and say thanks and see you later. So I think the three of us are at very different positions. So I think it's actually an ideal setup for Ben and for us as well, because there's trickle down from AJ to me, from me to Moses, and we can all discuss about how to go about certain things, how to take on certain opponents, where we are in certain points of our career and how it feels, and Queensbury versus Matchroom, and there's Jamie TKV in there as well, who's on Sky.
Lewis is a banger, isn't he?
And his fight coming up as well, which is a fantastic fight. So we have such a good combination that we're all able to really kind of bounce off each other, use each other, and then go out into the boxing scene and use all that.
You gave a very passionate defence of Ben at the launch, the London press release the other day. Boxing is incredibly fickle. 1 minute you're the hottest guy in the world, you lose a fight and you're the worst.
Yeah.
Taking on an Olympic winner with Ben in your corner, you don't need to give him redemption, but for Ben to be in your corner as part of your team and to get a win over Frazer would hopefully silence a few of the people that think he was a problem for AJ.
Yeah, hopefully, yeah. Like you said, it was. I was very aggravated with a lot of the responses from it, because as you say, boxing can be very fickle. You're on top of the world at 1 minute, and then you're at the bottom of the pile the next, all off one punch. Not what you've done in the build-up or anything else. So it can be like that. So yeah, in no way am I saying I'm carrying Ben on my shoulders and I'm going to bring him back to glory and everything else like that. But obviously, a win for him, a win for the gym will do good. Bring it back around, and not just me, but us and all the other fighters can do our bit to kick it back on and throw him back to where he deserves to be, at the top of the tree.
Bit of a buzz about Ipswich at the minute with the football team back at the Premier League, and do you feel that growing behind you now after that big high-profile fight on Sky, and now you've got another huge fight on a huge card again? You feel that coming behind you?
Yeah. Like the club has been. I can't thank the club enough, because they've been behind me for a number of years now, like officially sponsoring me, being part of me, wanting to promote me, getting me out of games, pitch walks, getting me to do media events with them, speak to the youth, speak with the players, visit the training ground, just interacting me with them, and then the wider footballing community, which then obviously has a transfer effect to fans, and it's just. Especially in Ipswich, which was just quite a off the beaten track and quiet place. We very much look after our own, so it's helped with that as well, with them seeing that I'm born and bred Ipswich. I was born there. I still live there now. I still train there now. Although I flip back and forth from Ben's, but I still train there as well. So it gives a lot that the club's doing so well, and in amongst all of their success, they're still wanting to be like, no, Fab, come with us. Like, we can still put you over here and show you this and give you this and do all the bits for you. Like Mark Ashton, the CEO, like he calls me weekly to catch up. He loves his boxing, and he wants to see how I'm doing. How's training going? How you feeling? How's things? Yeah, you come to the game on Saturday. We can catch up properly then, and bits like that. So we have a really good relationship, and obviously the question is always when are you fighting on Portman Road? When are you fighting on Portman Road? And it is a when. I don't think it's an if. I think it is a when. It's just that logistically, it's just it is a bit of a headache. Wanting to look after the pitch and stuff and not mess it up. So it's going to have to be an out of season thing. But then you want the right person to be at the right time, to be out of season, and it all to fit and land in the same kind of place is always hard to manoeuvre. So yeah, it's a question of when, not if.
you spoken to the players though? Did he bring you in to give them a motivation talk or something like that?
No, just to again, like I'm just around them,
Yeah.
like and keep them and not to give them any sort of motivational speech or anything like that at all. I have done a few when they were at the end of the last season or the season before, when they were right at the end, I did do like a kind of a video message to them to play before a game, like of a motivational one. But it's not really like that. It's just to be like I don't see it as we don't see it as like a professional relationship. Like I'm pals with them. Like I'll text them normally. I had the team captain Sam Morsey send me a voice note today just before you guys got here, just saying, look mate, I want to wish you all the best. Like we're all watching you, we're all behind you, we're all rooting for you, do your thing, come back and show us all the belts. So it's more of like a friendship thing rather than like professionally, yeah mate, go on, I hope you do well and all of that, rather than it be, again, a bit more staged.
This will sound like a strange question and I'm not trying to grovel either.
It's nothing new from you, don't worry.
But when I think about how careers have come through, you've stayed incredibly loyal to your trainer Rob, but you've added Ben. You've started off with Matchroom, you're now with Queensberry. You've been a free agent, which is a big risk. You've fought good opponents at the right time. You've given us great interviews constantly. I've never seen you really make a mistake. Can you remember the last one you made? Or have you anything up lately?
Yeah, did you watch my last fight? I think I made a few there. Yeah, look, credit to the team behind me as well. I'm under great advisement, and I always have my own opinions. I'm very headstrong as well. But as a team, we all have very, very strong opinions of what we think's best for me and how best to go about it. And ultimately, at heart, we are risk takers. And like you say, leaving that room and going on my own and taking big fights, could have left me in no man's land. Could have left me in a hole, but I back me, the team backs me, we always back ourselves. And that's why we ended up doing that, and it worked out very well. And then as time progressed and the boxing scene kind of settled and it found its place of kind of who was running things at that time, we made the decision to obviously align ourselves with QP and Frank and have a good sit down with him, and we felt like that was the right direction to go.